Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Zero Out and welcome back to How to Play USA series. It's been a while since I made another one of these, and this time we're going to talk about USA Air Force specifically, and we're going to talk about Comanche builds. So you'll see we're only 2 minutes 30 in here. I should have a few more Comanches in this, but this is more or less the setup we're going to do, and we're going to jump into the game now and show you how to get to this position and what the most important upgrades are. Okay, so jumping into map selection. Now, if you're going to go Comanches, you generally want some open space out and about around the map, and you want a long distance between you and your opponent. And you also ideally don't want any bunkers near you where a GLA, for example, can drop off a tunnel, get some RPGs inside there and reinforce it with quads. So you want as much space as possible. So for example, you probably would be able to choose that map where you've got 2 supplies and it's quite a long distance, Gold Cobra, and you could probably go for, maybe that one looks okay as well. Forgotten Ruins is another long one as well. But some of the smaller ones, maybe like Jungle Wolf, probably isn't ideal because there's bunkers in the middle where a GLA is guaranteed to get it. And there's also bunkers close to your base. Probably wouldn't work as well there, although you do have 2 full supplies. Liquid Gold, you could probably do it there, the Comanche build. But when there's a lot of money out and about on the map, you better be quick with your Comanches to disable any oil grabs and stuff like that. Generally, when there's a lot of money like that, I probably prefer to go on Eco BMVs myself. But this map here, for example, there's no bunkers anywhere near my base, apart from just a few in the middle. And I've got 2 supplies. I've got small crates where I can put different chinooks on different crates to speed up my collection. Something that China probably more struggles with the crates, but I'll show you what I mean when we're in the game. Okay, so jumping into the game, we're going to press D for a dozer on the CC, and we're going to select our other dozer and press R to build a power plant as close to the dozer as possible. Actually, just like 1 centimeter away from it. Whatever. I'm going to grab a drone, put it on the enemy base and scan as well. Press H to go back to your CC. If you ever lost a bit over here, press H, goes back to your CC for home. H for home.
No construction.
Going to press U or click the supply. Here is the hotkey for the supply. Again, if you're out and about and you want to go back to your base ASAP, H, back home. Okay, we know this one's going to finish first here. We're going to press C on there for a Chinook. Build a airfield. So pressing C really quick. On here, press C as soon as it was finished as well. You don't want to do it too soon because C also means cancel. Don't want to cancel the building. I'm going to control group them 0, control group, sorry, them 0, them 9. So I can move them out of the way if we're getting attacked. Control group 1, control group 1. Dozer on 6, other dozer on 5. You don't have to do all of that stuff, but I can quickly select now all of my stuff like that. Okay, we're going to build our first Comanche. Send a dozer out just in case there's any aggressive workers, anything like that. Going to pretend we're against GLA here. Let's say there's an aggressive worker over here building a big sized tunnel. Send it over there, get the crush, and then come back. Don't be afraid also to drop down a firebase. Hotkey for firebase is I, in case you feeling pressure. But let's pretend there's no aggression at the beginning. Hotkey for Comanche is C. We're going to waypoint them both to here. Select one and double tap the E key to select them both, and then I can hunt out and about on the map for some stuff. We're going to get the stealth upgrade. I never use the hotkey for that, but it looks like the hotkey is S. Next upgrade, very soon, we're going to get countermeasure upgrade. The reason we want to get a countermeasure upgrade is because it increases the HP versus a quad, and I think versus a GAT as well. Yeah, quads and GATs. Against the quad, it will die in like 3.5 seconds without the upgrade, and then with the countermeasure upgrade, you will survive like 7 seconds. So it doubles the HP or survivability against a quad, and that's your basic opening. If there is some aggression, don't get bogged down trying to engage a tunnel and a bunker, or a tunnel and a bunker over here. Don't be afraid to go over to the enemy and control the game more. And if you were against the GLA, or you could also do it against the China, provided he didn't open with double war factory, you might be able to pick off some trucks or some workers. So you'd pick off a few. If there was a tunnel there and a supply there, for example, you'd go around and we'd pick off from the back. Pick off a few workers, or ideally all of them. When he pops his stuff, you'd go over here and harass. And that's a basic opener for Comanches. If I want to reinforce those Comanches with that army, I drag a box around one and double tap the E key. It will select all the Comanches on the map, and then I can click somewhere and they will all go and rendezvous. The thing you got to be careful of is, let's say there's a tunnel here or a stinger or something, that those might go over it. So you might then have to micro them around. But for example, you could select them, click over there, and then once they're going, you could just check if the path looks a bit dangerous. You could waypoint him using the Alt key and get him around like that. Always want to make sure that you're producing Commanches and never float in loads of cash. Behind that, when you do float a bit of cash, you can go for a barracks, put a missile defender in some buildings just for extra cover. Maybe you want a firebase on the extreme of the map. Keep scanning, keep droning. And then once you've got a few missile defenders and a few key buildings, you can generally apply this to most maps. Then you could squeeze out 2 rangers, grab the capture upgrade, get that one and that one, or wherever else they may be on your map. So that's basically an opener. What the GLA will often try to do is, when he realizes he's getting picked off, he will try to go for a counter-attack. So he might push with like 5 quads and a radar van and some RPGs into your base. And sometimes you can get bogged down dealing with that. One way you could deal with it is you could press 0 to select your Chinooks like this, double tap the E key to pull all of them, and then click over the quads to distract the fire and block the RPGs. Press 3, double tap E, so my Comanches are on 3. I'm double tapping 3 to select all of them, and then you can go and try and engage it. One upgrade I need to mention actually is that rocket pod, so hopefully I can keep talking while that rocket pod finishes. So then you might be able to deal with it. But if it's too dangerous and you're losing Comanches, do not be afraid to, like, maybe you could sell that supply, build a new power. Just move your base off that and try to hang out over here, maybe with a few missile defenders. But do not be afraid to go over to the enemy base, kill the arms dealer, kill the tunnel, kill the supply, and then when you've got veterancy on them Comanches, they become insanely strong. So then you might be able to come back later and clear up your base later on. A lot of people lose the Comanches because they are engaging without that upgrade, the countermeasures, and they're not pulling the Chinooks correctly, the micro is not correct, and they're engaging too soon, when actually it would be more beneficial to go for the base trade, get the veterancy, and then engage. I'm going to show you one trick now to do when you want to clear up a load of quads. So if I click the rocket pods and just click there, for example, on that tree, they will all fire their rocket pods, like this one, for example. It'll exhaust all of its rocket pods and just blow up that tree. But let's say all of these trees were enemies. So that one, that one, that one. Just move them out of the way for a second. Let's say all of these are enemies here, and you want to clear it up as fast as possible. You can press R to do rocket pods, and then immediately press G for guard, and that will do a guarding rocket pod. So anything in that whole area will now get rocket podded until they've all ran out. It will spread the rocket pods all the way around, and it's a really good advantage to do area effect damage and kill loads of quads with just one ability. So we're going to jump back into game now, and I'm going to show you another build. Okay, jumping back into game, we're going to press D again for a dozer, and we are going to build a power. This time we're going to get drone once again. Then we know the CC spawns there, so if it was a worker running around, let's say first worker goes here, you might want a drone just to see what he's going to be building. Press H to go back to the CC once again. This time we're going to sell the CC. So it's a bit of a risk, but you're going to be able to get more units out quicker. That's why you're selling it. You get an extra 1,000. You can play around with this on the timings and how many units you've got yourself in your own time, and mark down with a gentle timer at what point you had stuff. Could build a airfield like that to block any incoming attack. They'd have to go either there or there. Press C on this, build another airfield. Get him collecting on the back one there. But you see how they're queued for a second? Whereas if you're on different crates, it benefits the USA quite a bit. Always want to make sure you have retaliation off. Generally, when you're USA, if you're going fully loaded Vs or Comanches. Again, we'll put them on Control Group 0, Control Group 9, Control Group 6, Control Group 5. Just the way I like it for my dozers. And then instantly a Comanche and another airfield. So that cost $800. Your CC cost 1,000. So you've actually still saved $200 overall. You can still be hunting around looking for a worker with your dozer. Let's say we didn't find any. First Comanche is out, straight across the map, hunting some workers. Got him on Control Group 3. I can select 3, double tap E, and it will select both. Now I can do this, get the upgrades from that one. I'll relabel them 1 and 2. Get another Comanche.
Air cover's on the way.
Generally, the stealth upgrade is the best thing to get first, and then straight after, you want to be getting that. So now I'm producing from that one and that one, whilst getting the upgrades from that one. So you're rushing out a stronger Comanche build, because when you're weakest, it is probably early on doing a Comanche build, but as the game progresses and you get more vetted Comanches and more numbers, now we can get that one, then you become stronger and stronger. Yeah, rocket pods will be the next thing to get, but generally I don't get that until I've got the stealth ability, then the countermeasures, then the rocket pods next. So yeah, that one can be getting all the upgrades. And now if you time that, 2 minutes 30, and I've got 5 Comanches out with another 1 on the way, you will have more than if you kept the CC, and that's why you will do it. You get more units out quicker, you're less likely to die in the beginning, and then you can rebuild your CC at any moment when you know you are in safety. Okay, so we're going to do another build order on this same map. This time we're going to go for a 1 supply, and we're going to go for what is known to be one of the lamest strats in the book for Air Force, which is the combat chinook. So we're going to build a barrack straight away.
Bring on the scaffolding.
We can scan over here just to see what the opponent is doing. You don't want to do this against tank or nuke.
Made in the US of A.
Probably not against China either in the 1v1. Probably against GLAs, this one, and other USAs. So we've built a supply using the hotkey U, a power using the hotkey R. We've immediately queued up 8 units from the barracks, 1 being a ranger and the rest being missile defenders. As soon as that war factory is ready, we're going to press T here, which is the shortcut for the combat chinook. So yeah, this will be strongest against GLAs. If you think he's not expecting it, go straight to the arms dealer. But also other USAs. But other USAs can counter it, especially highly skilled players. It can get laser locked and go down. So it is a bit of a risk, but it's like high risk, high reward. Behind this, what you can do is queue up a V to try and defend your base, which is probably the best. Then you would queue up a V and a few missile defenders. But you can also make another combat chinook and more missile defenders. So it'll take a while for this one to fill because you've only gone for 2 chinooks. That'll go straight across the base. If you're against the USA, you want to hit the power in both dozers. You'll have the maneuverability. If he makes Avengers or if he makes a V, you've still got speed on your side. If he's collecting there with chinooks, you could go around the back. Pretty much the same applies for any map. You could take out the chinooks. It'll just start firing automatically. And if you're against the GLA... If you're against the GLA, actually, what you could have done is pulled that chinook with you.
Provisions en route. I got the goods.
Straight to the arms dealer. Let's say he's boxed in his supply and made an arms dealer there. Bring that with you. It might block a few more RPG shots, and it might deflect... or it might distract some of the fire from a quad. Bring them both in. Target the arms dealer and the quad inside of it. And clear up the game, and you probably win the game. So yeah, a nice little lame one for you there. Don't do that every single game, but every now and again, pull that out of the bag and surprise your opponent. Okay, so next build is going to be about King Raptors for Air Force, and this is an interesting map. It's brand new, never seen before, made by CNCHD, and it was kind of my idea to make an AI replicate what a human player would do so you can practice your King Raptor shots. It's a little bit flawed because this only practices the bottom spot, but we're going to modify our build a little bit. And yeah, press H to go back to CC. It's a little bit weird here because we're having to play it in skirmish mode. So I've set the game speed to 3. And it's a bit weird because there's all the fog of war. But you know what? It just makes it more difficult. We know the opponent spawns up here somewhere. In this example...
Sounds good.
It's very weird, isn't it, with this fog of war? We should get rid of that. In this example, we're going to go for a normal build, which is 2 supplies, double airfield, with Raptors. But the reason this is going to be a little bit funky and a little bit weird is because normally the Air Force would never take this bottom left supply on Twilight Flame, but we're just using this for an example.
Let's find a better place. Want to make some improvements?
So yeah, this is going to slow us down quite a bit, but it should be good enough to practice your King Raptors. We're going to build the Chinook, and we're going to build an airfield up here. Remember, the control group for airfield is... sorry, the hotkey for airfield is F. This time, I'm going to put that on 9, and that on 0. I like to alter it when I'm playing King Raptors, when I'm going pure King Raptors. Straight away a King Raptor queued up. Don't need to worry about really what this dozer's doing at this point. But on Twilight Flame, especially, you can do these 2 airfield builds. In a 1v1, would you ever open 2 airfields realistically? Probably not. It's more so in team games. As soon as it's ready, control group 1
Unit lost.
and get him out. So this AI has been programmed to replicate a human player. Always want to make sure I've got more Raptors ready to go. Now, what you would normally do here, let's see if the AI is doing it. You can practice your split fire. And the AI is actually taking his oil nice and quick. Okay, so we've denied some stuff there. Got these on 1 and 2 now. Make sure we've always got King Raptors ready to go.
Our laser should keep them off. Our laser should keep them off.
Yeah, denying...
Jumping in. King Raptor here. Got it.
Yeah, so he hasn't finished that tunnel. I wonder how that's going to mess him up. We're going to save that Raptor.
Copy that. Raptor here.
Put him there. And now we can practice the magic numbers of things. So we're going to get all these Raptors. Make sure we're still queuing things up. And now that they're both full, I'm going to start building the next airfield. And then a second, the next one. Right, magic number here is 4. But actually, I'm going to show you a trick.
Got it. Laser defense is ready.
At the same time. So we're going to use 4 King Raptors to take down a supply. That'll take it down past the hole and it will kill it for GLA. Bring it back. Make sure we're waypointed again down this side. This is a really good place to be flying as the Air Force. Now, what you can do with this one is if it's a human player, he'll probably start rebuilding that straight away. You can control fire or just shoot it regularly, rather, and it will cancel his supply. Then behind that, I should have built that already. When that one's built, I'm going to run out of power, so I'm going to need that. And then also you can start building your strategy center. But this just basically shows you an opener of a build. 4 Raptors to kill a GLA supply. I think 3 Raptors will get it down to the hole. 3 Raptors will also kill a China supply, I believe. And 3 Raptors will also kill a China power. 2 Raptors to kill a USA power. 4 Raptors to kill that. Of course, this changes when the GLA gets... Upgrade. You see, I went low power, but because I upgraded that, it's ready. Yeah, when it gets fortified structure, the numbers will change that you need to kill things. One good thing to remember as well is that, especially on this map, you get 2 groups of 3. So we're going to get 1 and 2. Control group 1, control group 2. Make sure that's got Raptor queued up and that one. You can get that upgrade laser missiles. 15% extra damage. 3 Raptors on that. 3 Raptors on that. Get the enemy oils out of there. Even if you suicide some Raps to kill some oils, you would always sacrifice. I'd say even probably 6 Raptors is worth that. Ideally, you want to do it for free. But yeah, even if it means sacrificing some Raptors to get the enemy oils out, is good. But generally, you probably won't do pure Raptors in a 1v1. In a 1v1, you'd probably open with a barracks and an airfield if you're against some kind of US. And that upgrade's really good as well. And you would defend against the drop, and then you would go pure Raptors. In a 1v1, generally, you probably wouldn't do this, but it does show you. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's just take all of them off. So basically, most of them are in pairs. Generally, how you want it to be.
I'm listening. What do you got? Copy that.
Get all them coming in. So I've got them all selected at the minute. And I'm going to come in here and try and do 1 strike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the AI pops, actually. CNC HD has scripted this pretty nicely. So yeah, basically, on one control group, like for example, number 1, I should have 2 Raptors. 2 should have 2 Raptors. 3 should have 2 Raptors. And so on and so forth. From that point, you can make a particle or a fire bases or drop zones or whatever you want to do. But this shows you a pure Raptor build. But like I said, if you're doing it in a 1v1, you probably would open with a barracks first. Rare to see that in a pure 1v1. Okay, so I'm going to show you another funky build you can do with the Air Force. This is why it's considered the most powerful army in the game. You can do so many different wild things. We're going to go for the carpet bomb here, and we're going to pretend we're against the tank.
New construction.
Maybe you could do it against the nuke as well. Primarily, you want to do it against the tank. We're going to scan the opponent, see where he's going. Okay, he's building a supply and a supply.
Let's build.
Going to go for one supply.
What's the story? Loud and clear. Yeah.
You can make your base as SimCity-like as you like here.
Can't do that.
Get a barracks, sell the CC. Going to get a war factory.
Good area.
Few missile defenders, but not loads.
I'll build anywhere.
And then this is where the SimCity bit comes in. Like,
Construction.
ideally, you want to block GATs from entering your base. So you could build it however you like to try and stop them coming in. As soon as that's ready, you're going to press Y to build a strategy center. Look at the gap there I left. Okay, so the reason I built 3 is because I've got the exact right amount of money now to queue up a V and that. But as soon as that's dropped off, I'll queue a few more missile defenders up. Which the hotkey is M.
What's the story? Want to make some improvements?
Let me launch one.
Select one of them, press E, and then press inside of the V.
I want to blow something up.
Come on in.
So we're pretending we're against the tank, for example. Could also maybe work against the China, maybe work against the nuke, although probably not that much recommended. In fact, this build is probably not that much recommended a lot at all. It's kind of funky and fancy, and all comes down to the micro of that V. If you lose that one V to any incoming GATs that might be coming in now, could end very, very badly for you.
Humvee here.
So wait for the ambulance to come out. You're defending against anything coming in.
Let's go.
And then you can start pushing out. Let's say the enemy's quite defensive on his side of the map. You could push out. But you don't want to let any flanking GATs get in your rear line. You can set search and destroy. Press that to see where the whole enemy base is. Let's say he's got a supply and a war factory here quite close together. You can hit it. And then also you've got the additional range now on this V. So that can outrange GATs massively. Keep queuing up V's and missile defenders there. If it is looking a bit ropey, you could cancel a few of those. Maybe do a fire base. But 1 MD inside of a fire base tends to be really good against GATs. Maybe a fire base there. But that carpet came in. We've missed the action. But it would flatten anything. Ideally, you'll kill a war factory and a supply and the 2 trucks there as well. But more often than not, it might just kill the supply or just kill the trucks and damage the buildings. But then you could go in with your search and destroy V. And as long as you're doing damage before he's rushed out of prop, you should be able to wreck him. So a little funky build for you there. And I'm going to show you another variation right now. Okay, so next variation is against an infantry. And this is probably one of the most fun strats that I enjoy doing. Although it is a bit risky again, going for a 1 supply. But we're going to pretend we're against an infantry and act like he's gone for a supply there. Supply there is not doing some aggressive all-in troop crawler rush because it's hard to defend against that regardless. We're going to try and make our base as pretty as possible. Sell the CC. I'm going to have to improvise a little bit here.
Make some improvements. New construction.
You can vary this one a little bit. You're going to build a airfield. A couple of missile defenders, let's say. And then maybe a fire base. Yeah, so this one you've got a bit more freedom with the cash. But what you could do there is probably what I would do is rush out the flashbangs if you were against an infantry. So your base is going to be covered against most attacks on the right. Assault troop quarter down the mid would wreck us at the minute. I'm going to go and try and grab that for vision. And try and grab that for vision. Cancel flashbangs, actually. I made a mistake there. What we're going to do, build 1 King Raptor and then strategy center. Now I can queue up the flashbangs. So yeah, you're hoping that the enemy's still on that side of the map.
Any more projects? Always ready. I'll build anywhere.
Yeah, it's important to rush that Raptor out rather than this flashbangs. In fact, you could even say is the flashbangs even worth it. Okay, we're going to get our King Raptor out. Hotkey for King Raptor is T. Straight out across the map. And if he's got 1 outpost, you could either shoot that directly or you can go straight for the dozer hunt. This is what the main strategy is behind that. So let's say there's 1 dozer here. shoot 2 missiles that kill it. You're going to control fire to ground and immediately press stop, and that will kill multiple things. You could have killed 3 dozers there. Press H to go back to base. Okay, bit of an army coming now. This one's going to go and shoot pretend outpost. Going to build another fire base. So the enemy now should be hunted. You're hoping he sold his CC as well. You can now use the carpet bomb to finish, let's say, the production. Let's say the war factory's here again. And now you can get a Colonel Burton out. Now, you can put bombardment. You've got 2 King Raptors, so any outposts or assault troop crawlers now should be getting popped open. His production of his war factory is dead, and ideally you would have got his supply there as well. Those King Raptors, if they can't find any targets, could fly around and go and get the barracks, and then he's out of production, out of doses, out of war factory barracks, and then your Colonel Burton can knife everyone to death. He can't be detected if there's no outposts and if there's no assault troop crawlers, so you could then just completely bunker in. And it's one of the most fun strats to play.
Where are we going?
Very, very decent indeed against an infantry, and it's so frustrating as the infantry to play against it. You kind of wish that you went for an assault troop crawler, but yeah, you've got to read the player. Are they just going to sit and chill in their base, and is this going to work? Okay, so we're going to jump into one more build order before I wrap this video up, and may do more in the future. I do have a lot to say. We're going to get a drone. We're going to pretend we are against an infantry again, but this is a more normal build order than before. Still very overpowered. This Air Force, of course it is. We're going to sell the CC.
Let's build. What's the story? Yeah.
We're going to go for a... This is more normal because you're going to go 2 supplies. It's more safe. And the infantry, let's say he's going to go for a supply there, supply there. It's rare on this map, for example, that someone will do an aggressive war factory assault troop crawler. So you might here be able to do this particular build order. Okay, we're going to do a war factory and 1 airfield. You can do this against other stuff. I suppose you could do it against... you probably could do it against the GLA, but primarily you would do this against the infantry. Going to control group our Chinooks as usual. Get 1 VAP. And 1 Raptor. And the reason this is cool is because your Raptor will pop open enemy outposts and hunt dozers, and your Vs can clear up everything that remains. And you can use the point defense lasers to defend against any man blobs. So get your V out. Let's say he's going for some kind of an oil capture.
Let's build.
Head over there to try and stop it. Keep queuing up Vs.
Come on in.
Pressing double tapping 1 to go back to my war factory. Let's say you've denied his oil. You've come back now. Get your King Raptor out. You can start dropping down the fire bases. One of the best defenses in the game. One of my favorite buildings. A fire base. And then what you can do is get the tow upgrade. Get even more Vs. Pop open the first outpost. Bit of a split fire there. Kill the dozers. Stuff like that. And then just let the infantry headbutt into fire bases and Vs with the tow upgrade. Get them in a nice line when you want to take a fight. Make sure retaliation is off in the options. And then you can fire base and deal with any infantry. If you wanted to as well, you could grab hold of that building if there's any buildings near you. But you can keep using these Raptors to split fire trucks. You can kill 2 trucks sometimes. And you can pick off barracks, pick off dozers, all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, another build order there for you in the bag. Okay, another build order for you. This time we are going to pretend that we are against the US as the Air Force. So some people will panic here. There's no reason to panic because they might feel, oh yeah, I've got the stronger army, I'm meant to win, but then the pressure of that gets to you. So we're going to go for a drop this time. So we're going to go barracks first. If you ever see a player going to barracks first, they're probably going to do a drop or rush out an oil capture.
Keeping busy. Good area.
Get your supply. A couple of missile defenders. Doesn't need to be a crazy amount. If it's the US, it might drone your base so you can scan it and you can laser lock it now. You laser lock it.
Yeah, made in the US of A.
Okay, let's go on with that drop, and then we're going to build an airfield. These are going to be on control group 4, and my Chinook's going to be on 3. And then we're going to go in for that drop.
That one's done. Want to make some improvements?
In Zero, you've got plenty of flexibility to change these builds and to change these drops. Like I could cancel that Chinook and make loads of ranges, for example. if I think I'm going to get dropped. So I would have cancelled that and have more Rangers out. But let's say the enemy isn't going for a drop. He's going for an oil boom. We drop that now with hotkey V. Press 4. Instantly laser lock some Chinooks. If he tries to laser lock your Chinook, you've got PDLs involved. And you can keep dropping and not dropping. Then we're going to press T there to get a Raptor. A couple of Rangers out. And then there you've got a decent build against the USA. King Raptor should hit the Chinooks primarily. You can also pick off the Dozers as well. Dozers and Chinooks and power is probably the weakest things that you can hit. If you did feel like you were going to get really heavily dropped in the beginning, you could have sold the CC. You could have stopped one of these Chinooks, and you could have built loads of infantry and also dropped down a firebase somewhere as like extra defense. And if you've got like a ranger in pretty much every part of your base, then you're covered for a drop, and you can actually go in then and finish things with your King Raptor. So yeah, I've got loads more ideas and builds for this, but I don't want this video to be too long. So if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, whatever, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll probably do some more in the future. GG, well played, and I'll see you on the battlefield.